Have you been staring at that Rubik's Cube on the edge of your desk for far too long? Well, you're in good luck because in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve it. So the first step in solving the Rubik's Cube is learning what each move does. So for example, this is the left side, this is the right side, and this is the top side. So what you have to learn is what each of those moves means. So if you're turning the right side up, that's an R. And if you're turning the right side down, that's an R prime. Now if you're turning the left side down, that's an L. And if you're turning the left side up, that's an L prime. Now the top side, if you're turning the top side clockwise like that, then that's a U. And if you're turning it counterclockwise like that, that's a U prime. Remember those for later. So the next step in learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube is you need to know what each of the pieces are. So for example, this piece on the corner with 3 colors is called a corner. Remember that for later. And this one with 2 colors in between 2 corners, this is called an edge. And this one, which is in the center of all of the other pieces, it's called a center. Remember all of those things for later. So now that you know where all of the pieces are and how they move, you can learn the first step. So the first step is making a white cross, which is where you get all of the white edges around this white center. So to do that, you want to find a white edge, which is one that has white and then one of the other 4 colors. And you need to align one of the other 4 colors to its center. So for example, this right here is a red and white edge, so I need to match it to the red center. And the way that I can do that is put it in the top layer, and then I can move it over by the center, and then match it up. And then once you have it matched like this, then you use 1 move or 2 moves to put it into the white cross. Now it's very important that when you do that, these will align like this, because that's very important for solving the next step. So then you could do that with your next edge, this one here, and now it's aligned, and then I can put it in with 2 moves. And that's how you solve the white cross. When you're done with the white cross, you need to make sure that all of the edges are aligned with their own colored center, like this. After that, you can move on to solving the first layer, which is getting all of these white corners into the slot to solve a full side. So the way that you can do that is look in the top layer around the yellow center and find a white corner. For example, this is a white corner because it has this white piece right here. Then you need to take that and put it above the slot that it belongs. So see how this is blue and red edges, and how this is a white, blue, and red piece. You need to hover it above the spot like that, and then use these 4 moves, which I will put right here, until it goes down here. And now it's in the slot. And you can continue doing this until you have all of the pieces into their slot. Here's one that's in its position, so you go, and now it's in its slot. Now, the next thing is if it's already in the slot, but it's not in the right position, you can simply continue doing the moves. And it will eventually go in. So that's how you solve your first white layer. The next step after solving the white layer is solving the first 2 layers, which is getting all of the edges in these slots to be in the right place. So the first step is you want to look in the top layer, and you want to find an edge that does not have yellow on it. For example, this one has yellow on it, so this is a bad edge. This one has yellow on it, so this is a bad edge, but this one does not have yellow on it, so we can use this edge and put it into one of these slots. So once you found your edge, you need to look at the color that's on the front, which is this red color right here, and you need to match it to its own center. So for example, this one is the red one, and I matched it to the red center. After aligning the piece to its center, you can look at the top color, and you need to put the top color on the opposite center. So for example, if I put this piece over top of the blue center, that is not right, because the blue top of the edge is matching the blue center, so I need to put it on the green side, which is the opposite of the blue side. It's on the opposite side, and that's where I'm going to need to have it. Now, if you understand the moves that I showed in the first few minutes of the video, you'll know how to do the algorithm to get this piece into this slot, so that it will solve this pair right here. And I will put the algorithm right up here, but for those of you who don't know, if you have the piece on the right, if you're holding it on the right side, you need to do the algorithm with your left hand. And if the piece is over here when you put it above its edge, then you need to do it with your right hand. So for this case, it's on the right side, so we need to do it with our left hand. So here is how it goes. L prime, U prime, L, U. And you need to rotate to the side that the edge is on. So it's on the left side, we rotate to the left side, and we do R, U, R prime. And that's how you solve your first pair. So just like before, we need to find our edge, and we need to find one that is in the top layer that does not have any yellow on it. So this one is bad because it has yellow on it. This one is bad because it has yellow on it. And this one is bad because it has yellow on it. But this one with blue and orange, we can work with this one. So just like before, hover it over its center, and then look at the top and move it to the opposite color. So if I moved it over here, that would be incorrect because that would be blue on top of blue. So I need to move it to the opposite side, which is blue on top of green. Now, since we put it to the left side this time, we need to do the algorithm with our right hand. And just like before, if you remember the moves from the beginning of the video, I'll have the algorithm right here for you to follow along. But if you don't remember those moves, you can follow my moves. R, U, R prime, U prime, rotate to the right side, L prime, U prime, L, U. And that solves this pair. Now you can repeat these steps for all of the other edges. So for this one, I align it, look at the top color, put it to the opposite color, and because I have it on the right this time, I do the algorithm on the left. And that solves the pair. But what if the edge is already in the slot, but it needs to be flipped around? So, in this case, what you need to do is you need to find a random edge that does have yellow on it and put it into this slot so that this piece will be in the top layer and you can use it. So, it doesn't really matter what piece you do, so you could just do the algorithm on whichever side it's on. So if the misaligned piece is on the right side, you do it on the right side, and if it's on the left side, you can do it on the left side. So you go and there you go. Now it's in the top layer, and you can repeat the steps just like before. Align it, look at the top color, put it to the opposite color. Since it's on the left, we do the algorithm on the right. And there you go. Now you've got your first two layers. So the next step after you have the first two layers is to solve the yellow cross, which is getting all of the yellow edges to face upward. Now, there's 3 different cases, and you don't have to pay attention to the corners, so even if one of the corners was facing upwards, it doesn't matter. Do not worry about the corners right now. Only focus on these edges. So what you could do is, for a line case, which is a line like this, you move the front layer clockwise, do R, U, R prime, U prime, and then move the front layer counterclockwise. And that will solve your yellow cross. Now the next case will be if the yellow edges make this L shape like this. So in this case, you need to make it a backwards L, like that, and then you can do the same thing before, turn the front layer, but this time, do the algorithm twice. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then you can turn the front layer counterclockwise, and that solves the yellow cross. The final case that you could possibly get is a dot case, which is where none of the yellow edges are facing upward and you just have one yellow center. So in this case, you need to do the algorithm from the line case, front clockwise, R, U, R prime, U prime, front counterclockwise, and then if you do that, it'll always give you an L-shaped case, like this, and then you can do from there. So make it a backwards L, do front clockwise, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, front counterclockwise, and that'll solve your yellow cross. So once you got all of the yellow edges facing upward, you need to align the color that is on the side. So, like this is aligned with its color, but this is not. Same for this one and this one. Now you need to turn the top layer until you get two that are aligned. Now, let me just tell you, if you're turning and you can't get two to align, just keep turning, keep being persistent, because there will always be two. In this case, we have the green one and the red one. So when you have this case, you put the one solved into the right side and the other one that is solved into the back side. And you need to do this algorithm, which if you remember the moves from the first part, I will put the algorithm right here and you can follow along. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, U, R prime, U. And when you do that, all of these pieces should align to their center. Now, if it happens that you get your solved edges, one on the front and one on the back, instead of one on the back and one on the right, hold one of them facing you, one of the solved ones facing you, and do the algorithm R, U, R prime, U, R, U, U, R prime, U. And now there will be a case where you will have one on the back and one on the right, just like that, and you can continue from there. So the next step to solving the Rubik's Cube after you've gotten your cross edges aligned is to put the corners in the right spot. So what this means is that if you twisted this corner, for example like this, it would solve it entirely. So for this step, we need to get all four of these yellow corners so that they can be turned and they will be all solved. So the first case that you could possibly get is that none of them are in the right spot and none of them could be twisted to be put in the right spot. And in that case, it doesn't matter where you hold it, just do this algorithm right here. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And at this point, you will be able to find at least one in the right spot, like that. Also, if the piece is not already solved and it's just in the right slot, that is okay as well. So once you've found your piece that is in the right slot, you need to hold that to the front right side, right here. And you need to do the same algorithm as before, which I will have right here. And you can follow along with the moves if you don't remember them. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And you do this algorithm until all of these four corners are in the right spot. So because they're not in the right spot yet, we do it one more time. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And now as you can see, all of these corners are twistable or already solved to be able to solve them. So once you've got all of your corners in the right spot, like this, you need to take the yellow face and put it onto the bottom side. Now once you've got it on the bottom, you need to find one of these yellow edges that is not already solved, like this one here is solved because it's in the right spot. You need to find one that's not already solved, and you need to do this algorithm until it goes to the bottom. So if it's facing you, R, U, R prime, U prime, 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 until it goes into this slot. Then, this is very important because you cannot rotate the cube. You need to make sure that you turn the bottom face until you've got another messed up corner in the bottom right slot. Then you can do that one until it gets to the bottom. And if it's facing away from you to the right side, you could do the algorithm twice. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And once you've got them all to the bottom layer, you can turn the bottom layer once or twice, and your cube is fully solved. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, and look out for new videos, as every one that I post will help you get faster and faster at cubing. Thank you for watching.